You ever get the feeling you've made a deal with the devil, only to realize way too late that it came with fine print in blood? Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And if I lose my medical license over this, all because I tried to do the right thing the wrong way, well, you'll see how I got there. By the way, where are you watching from, and what time is it right now? I love seeing where all of you are tuning in from. I'm Dr. Elise Rowan. I've been practicing internal medicine for about 15 years. I've seen things that would make your stomach turn. I've told people they're dying. I've held their hands while they cry. But nothing prepared me for the day I got pulled into a web of lies, manipulation, and something far darker than I ever thought I'd encounter in my profession. It started with a patient named Jonathan Hale, a real estate developer, mid-40s, fit, charming, healthy on paper. Came in for what he thought was a persistent ulcer. He brought his wife, Melissa, with him to every appointment. She was polished, younger than him by at least a decade, and had the kind of presence that turned heads in every room. But there was something off about the way she hovered around him. Too involved, too controlling. Jonathan's labs raised red flags. We found elevated liver enzymes, weight loss he couldn't explain, fatigue. I ordered more tests. One came back suggesting possible early-stage pancreatic cancer. I wanted a biopsy to confirm. Melissa seemed unusually upset at the suggestion. "No, that's ridiculous," she snapped. "You doctors jump to the worst-case scenario too fast. He's fine." Jonathan looked confused, but didn't argue. Melissa shot me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Besides," she added, "we're about to go on vacation. We'll follow up when we get back." They left, and 2 days later, Melissa showed up at my office alone. She closed the door behind her without asking, sat across from me, and pulled a checkbook from her purse. "I need a favor, Dr. Rowan," she said, her voice sweet as syrup. "You're going to change the report. Say his results were inconclusive and that everything looks normal." I laughed. I thought she was joking. But her face didn't budge. She scribbled on the check. When she slid it across the desk, I glanced down. $100,000. Cashier's check. I felt my chest tighten. "That's illegal," I said. "It's not just unethical, it's fraud. I can't do that." She smiled again. "You can. You just haven't realized what's at stake yet." And then she leaned in and said something that chilled me. "Jonathan can't know he's sick. If he does, I lose everything." She claimed their prenup had a medical clause. If he became terminally ill, his assets would go to his kids from a previous marriage. She said she had sacrificed years for him and she wasn't going to walk away with nothing. I told her no, firmly. She left, but that was just the beginning. 2 days later, I got a call from the hospital board. An anonymous tip alleged that I'd been prescribing narcotics inappropriately to multiple patients. A full investigation was being opened. I nearly fainted. I'd never written shady prescriptions in my life. I reviewed my logs obsessively. Nothing was amiss. But someone had altered records digitally, cleverly. I knew it was Melissa. Then came the audit, then the investigator showing up to my house with a subpoena. My practice was suspended pending review. And then Jonathan came back into my life. Alone. He looked 10 years older, gaunt, pale, angry. He said, "She told me you said I was fine. She told me you gave me a clean bill of health." My throat dried up. I didn't," I said. "Jonathan, I tried. I told her you needed more tests. I told her—" I stopped. His eyes filled with tears. He said, "I'm stage 3. I lost months I could have used for treatment." I told him everything. About the bribe, about the forged complaint, about the investigation. He said nothing, just stared at me. Then he got up and left. That was the last time I saw him alive. He passed away 6 weeks later. That's when everything exploded. Melissa tried to collect on his life insurance policy, $5 million. But a nurse came forward, said Melissa had tried to coach her into altering Jonathan's records too. Another came forward with screenshots of texts.
Turns out Melissa had done this before with a previous partner who died under similar circumstances in another state. That case had been ruled accidental overdose. But now, it was being reopened. The moment she was arrested for fraud and obstruction of justice, the board dropped the investigation against me. But the damage was done. My name had been dragged into the mud. My clinic lost half its patients. My savings were wiped out by legal fees. And I still lie awake at night thinking of Jonathan, wondering if I could have done more. Then a twist I never saw coming. One of Jonathan's children reached out to me. His daughter, Ava. She told me Jonathan left a video message for his family and for me. It had been scheduled to send after his death. In it, he said he forgave me, that he knew I tried, that he was sorry for not trusting his own instincts sooner. And then he dropped the real bomb. Melissa hadn't just wanted his inheritance, she was poisoning him. He'd started keeping a journal, taking secret samples of his own meals. When tested after his death, those samples showed elevated levels of thallium, a rare toxin that's hard to detect. She hadn't just lied to keep him from treatment, she was killing him. And I almost let her get away with it. I think about that every day. I still practice medicine, I still believe in the oath I took, but now I keep every email, record every conversation, and trust no one blindly, not even grieving spouses. Because one bribe, one moment of silence, one choice to turn the other way can cost a man his life. What would you have done if you were me? Let's talk about it in the comments.